Welcome to COing for Dummies, narrated by High Impulse. Lesson 1, Building a Plan. Now, what you first want to do is want to start with an idea on what you're going to do and you want to go for there. Make sure you always have a plan B just in case your initial plan doesn't work. Now, first thing you want to do is make sure everything is covered by building a line or something along that. So you want to make sure they can't flank you, so keeping some guys to watch the flank, hiding in buildings, that kind of thing. Now, use your players wisely. Set people up where they're going to be most effective. Take note of where the VPs are and plan around them. A successful plan is a plan that takes you straight to the VPs. When you're positioning your men, make sure that if your people are attacking, that they're attacking in greater strength, and that the defenders are in a strong position where they can shoot at people effectively without stressing themselves before they get into nade range. This will greatly enhance your chance of victory if it's all well thought out. Lesson 2, In-Game Commanding. This is the most important part of the game. This is where you make decisions that can lead your team to victory or failure. These choices are a lot easier to make in small games due to the limited options. In larger games, however, these decisions can have larger consequences and can make or break your plan and your teammates. Like making a plan, it's important to first have all bases covered. Start from a strong position. If you're defending, make sure you're always protecting the VP points. If you're attacking, make sure you have the numerical advantage. 2 is greater than 1. If you're not good at math, bring a calculator. Count the number of enemy squads. Know where everyone is at all times. This is where a calculator comes in handy. If you know where all the squads are, then you'll know what to expect and how to attack and how to defend. Flanking and crossfire are much more effective than straight rushing. Some squads log a border. COs tend to leave the borders open. Which brings me to my next point. If you're flanked, you're completely fudged. Keep your sides covered at all times to avoid costly losses. Now, bullets are a lot more effective than grenades, so set up your weaker squads so the enemy will have to rush them. This gives your players advantage when it comes to nading, because they may have lost some guys, or will be under heavy fire and already stressed, which leaves them more open to get shot, and some more difficult to nade. Lesson 3. Shut up. Make sure you keep your mouth shut unless you're giving orders or helping people. Communication is the key to success. Unnecessary chatter disrupts the flow of communication, and can keep your lower members of your team unable to communicate with you, which would frustrate them and cause you to get flanked or lose the game because you don't know that there's 4 squads running at you because you're talking about how awesome your cat is. So keep communication to a minimum if possible. So this is lesson 4, case study on a small map. This is how a game should go on a small map. Now what I would first do is I would send 1 man to the flank, 1 man to field, and send myself to the widow's house / watching church area. Now what you want to do is have the guy at the flank run around till he's almost parallel, or no, he's past parallel to the VP points, and then push into battle walls, while having the guy at fields rush battle walls at the same time, pushing them out into shed, defense wall, and church. Now while your boys are pushing them out of battle walls, you want to push around to the flank and to church to secure the VPs there, and then once you push them all the way back with your men rushing, you want to use their eyes to take church, and then you just set up a line and you have all the VPs and you wait for them to rush and you shoot at them. If you do all this successfully, you should win the game, provided you can hold them off fairly well, because it's pretty easy to hold them off from this position. Okay, this is lesson 5, case study 2 for a large game. Now, which is pretty cool. So for this one, this is 5s, by the way. This one I'd probably send 2 to the flank, 1 to Westfield, and 1 to courtyard, while have myself watching the flank. Now what you're going to want to do is send your guys on the flank up first, and by the time they get to one of the 2 prongs, you're going to want to send the guy in Westfield up depending on how much distance and how much they fall back, and they should fall back to small meadow here. Now what you want to do is send 2 guys into push small meadow with 1 guy flanking around, and then using the eyes you want to have your guy in big house push, and you want your CO to go around to fields and pasture, just to keep their, if they decide to run back, you can hold them off there. And now you have a complete line, and I've pretty much won the game at this point. And wrapping up, so if you remember all these tips, you should be on your way to become proficient CO. Remember, those case studies were only if everything went perfectly. You still have to make adjustments, but a good plan leads to a good game, and hopefully success if you execute it properly. This has been High Impulse, teaching you how to do something I can barely do, and signing out.